Good morning. I'm Reverend Jackie Fernandez, and welcome to our Sunday celebration here at Unity Church of Overland Park. Today, I am live streaming from our church office in the conference room, and so you might notice to my left our Unity candle, our Christ candle from the church. And so that feels very special to me today, and feels like yet another way to more deeply connect with this community. So I'm so grateful to be here this morning, and so grateful that you have joined us from wherever you are, on Facebook, on YouTube, in the comfort of your home, or perhaps you're out at a park or on a morning walk and you've got your headphones in. Just know that you are one with us this morning, and we are grateful that you are here. We have a very special musician joining us, Willis White, who I know many of you are familiar with. This will be the first time I get to hear him, and I think we are in for a real treat today. In Unity, we honor all paths to God. We believe that all people are born in original blessing, and we honor and affirm people of all creed, color, ability, sexual orientation, and gender expression. We preach, teach, and believe in your wholeness as the beloved child of God. And so you will see, as I mentioned, the Christ candle lit to my left. And we light that candle as a representation, as a symbol of the Christ light that shines brightly in you, in me, in every single one of us, always. And we affirm together, there is only one presence and one power in the universe, in my life, God, the source of all good.
Well, welcome, Reverend Jackie, to your second Sunday at Unity Church of Overland Park as our senior minister. We're so happy to have you.
Thank you.
And as Jackie so eloquently put it in her opening statements, we are here to embrace everyone in every way. And our vision of that is that of, please say it with me, a world powerfully transformed through the growing movement of shared spiritual awakening.
And Carrie, we have another affirmation that we've been working with. I know you all have been working with for quite some time, and I'm so grateful to have the opportunity to join in this vision for our future space. So let's speak this together. We are grateful for our new spiritual home that empowers us to fulfill our mission.
Oh, so I invite you all now to just take a nice deep breath. Shaking off any busyness that may have happened this morning, or maybe any sleep that's still in your eyes. We're grateful for each and every one of you here this morning, participating with us. So let's just breathe in one more time and breathe down into the awareness of the light of the Christ that is in, through, as, and around us. And as we breathe into that awareness, we realize that it is not limited to our individual selves, but that it carries itself in, through, as, and around all creation. So we are one. Despite our distance, despite our isolation, we are one. As we open our hearts, as we open our minds, as we soften our awareness of that boundary. Yeah, let's feel that. And then let's just know that we are so blessed to be where we are here now, that we get to share this light and this love with others that are not as fortunate to be able to stop and breathe. In the many, what do I want to call them? I guess in this real world, we call them tragedies. But in God's space, we see them simply as an illusion, a very strong shared illusion. But as we choose to step up to the highest, knowing that God is present in every situation, we empower those situations to be dissolved as the dark goes from the night. So we are grateful to come together today to allow ourselves to be inspired to be even greater lights in the world. And so we simply say, thank you, God. And so it is. Now, interesting, if you'll think back a few weeks ago, we lost a very significant person in the civil rights movement, and we lost one of our dear friends in our congregation. Well, today, we did not lose one of our dear friends in our congregation, but we did lose a wonderful, beautiful figure for equality and justice in our country. Justice Ruth Ginsburg, Bader Ginsburg.
Ruth Bader
Thank
Ginsburg.
you so much, Jackie. Yes.
Yes.
And so I just want to acknowledge that she was a wonderful light for many, many years, a great inspiration, not only for women, but for men also, as someone who stood in her truth and spoke truth to power. So we are grateful for her. And today we also have a very special celebration to acknowledge. Cindy Spear is one of our oldest, both literally and figuratively, as she helped found Unity Church of Overland Park many, many, many years ago. And so we just want to acknowledge that her birthday is tomorrow. And we are so grateful that she had the foresight and the wisdom and the stick-to-itiveness to see this church through to where it is today. I know that she wishes us well, and I know that she is watching. And so, Cindy, I want you to know that we love you, and we care for you, and we think about you often. And we have a little bit of something special for you to listen to right now.
Happy birthday, Cindy. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Cindy. Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday, Cindy. Thank you so much, Fred, and thank you, Reverend Carrie and Reverend Jackie and Terry, for your beautiful interpreting this morning. So Unity Church of Overland Park has supported a couple of agencies on an ongoing basis, and then there's other agencies that we support throughout the year. We support Kansas City, used to be the Kansas City Rescue Mission, one for men and one for women. It's now referred to as Shelter KC for men and for women. The name transitioned a little bit during the coronavirus. They were just starting to change the name prior to it. So I even noticed that on my information I put on the e-news, I refer to it as the Kansas City Women's Rescue Mission. It is actually Shelter KC for women. And so as we kind of start to move back into supporting some of the agencies that we've done in the past, the first one that we are starting with is the Rescue Mission for Women. They meet on the fourth Tuesday evening of each month at 6 o'clock. Their location is down on 11th Street in Kansas City, Missouri. We serve dinner to the ladies there. There are usually about 12 ladies right now. Their group is a little bit smaller. It's very easy to manage with social distancing and wearing masks. And so we prepare a dinner for them, take it down, serve it to them, sit and just have an opportunity to converse with them. And it's just a wonderful time. So this Tuesday, coming up on the 22nd, we will be serving a fried chicken themed dinner. So we are looking for anybody who would like to donate something for the meal. We have fried chicken and potato salad spoken for right now. If there's something that you would like to contribute, also, you don't have to go down and serve with us if you don't want to. We do carpool from the Hy-Vee at 95th and Antioch, but you can join us there and you can drop off something that you would like for us to take down for the meal. They are also taking laundry baskets right now and DVDs of movies that don't have a real violent theme, but something that's more spiritual or inspirational theme based that's appropriate for that. So they're taking donations of that and taking donations of laundry baskets. And then we will also take any meal, any sides that you would like to prepare for that. And we carpool from the Hy-Vee at 95th and Antioch at about 5 o'clock. We meet there. Usually there's a couple people that go with me. If you would like to drop off something or make some kind of arrangements to contribute your side dish or your laundry baskets or your movies or whatever, feel free to contact me. The information is in the e-news, and my email address is dphilby@ucop.org. And then also stay tuned for information about the Kansas City Shelter KC for men, and also for the breakfasts that we serve at St. Paul's as we get back into the swing of serving at those locations. There'll be more information in your e-news. So now is the time in our service where we bless our offerings. And so let's just take a moment and hold in your hand whatever blessing that is yours to give. Now, this could be a monetary blessing, and we are so grateful for your gifts for this community. And it can also be perhaps a side dish that you make for Tuesday, or it could be those laundry baskets, or it could be prayers that you hold for our congregants from our congregational care report. It could be birthday wishes that you send out for Cindy. It is you showing up authentically, compassionately, open-heartedly, showing up and giving what is yours to give. And we are so grateful for that. This church community is grateful for it. The larger community, the planet, is grateful for it. So whatever that is, take it in your hands or hold it over your heart space and say with me our blessing. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. And I am joy-filled and grateful. And so it is. And so this morning, we are joy-filled and grateful to be able to welcome back to UCOP Willis White.
When my hands were empty, when all hope was gone, I couldn't help but wonder, what had I done wrong? But even though my heart was broken, there was no need for despair, 'cause a vessel must be broken to put something better there. Into my empty hands, gently you poured new life for me. Yours is a perfect plan. The ups and the downs were meant to be. Now I understand, you needed my empty hand. Oh yeah. So forgive me when I doubt, or consider giving up. I know I'll never live without it. Oh no, your deep and abiding love Oh yeah, into my empty hands. Gently you poured new life for me. Yours is a perfect plan. The ups and the downs were meant to be. And I just can't help but cry for all of these gifts that you've given to me. Now I understand you needed my empty hand. Thank you for my empty hand.
Oh, wow. Wow, wow. Thank you, Willis White, for that beautiful, beautiful rendition of Empty Hands by Daniel Nahmod. Oh, that just took my breath away. Thank you for gently filling my hands, my empty hands. Oh, what an ode to God. And what a gracious, gentle reminder of the power of holding an emptiness. And this is what we're going to talk about today. We are kicking off Fall Faith 2020 with the book by Susan Jeffers, Embracing Uncertainty. Whew, uncertainty. Talk about a feeling of emptiness, right? Our calendars wiped clean this year. A feeling of emptiness, empty hands. And in this emptiness is great opportunity. Susan Jeffers begins this book by talking about the power of wonder, the power of asking or saying maybe. When we think we know something, when we make an assumption, when we find ourselves so sure of how things ought to be, we can create an emptiness by leaning into the power of wonder. Some of the greatest thinkers of our time have done this and demonstrated it beautifully. Albert Einstein said, never lose a holy curiosity. Jesus, our way shower, invited us to interpret Jewish law through the lenses of grace and love, asking the question, maybe there's a different way to do this. Maybe there's a different way to apply divine law. Martin Luther King had a dream filled with possibility, wonder. Ruth Bader Ginsburg, when asked how many women should be on the Supreme Court, would answer 9. There should be 9 women. That will be enough. And that could be a little shocking, but she would follow it up with, well, nobody ever questioned it when there were 9 men. So maybe we could wonder what it would be like if there were 9 women, and perhaps that's enough. So when we open our minds and our hearts to the power of wonder and the question of maybe, questioning our own assumptions, we actually create opportunity for ourselves, opportunity to live a power-filled life. See, when we get into the wrestling of control, right? We want to control our circumstances. We want to know what the outcomes are going to be. We predict, we have weather people every morning. We have an entire weather channel, right? Weather.com. People who dedicate their lives to predict the weather for us so that we can make decisions based on their predictions. And don't we get kind of bent out of shape when they're wrong? Don't we just kind of, but that's not what you said, and that's not what I planned for. So many ways, even the fact that we keep calendars, that we keep a planner, that many of us on our smartphones or on our tablets have a digital calendar that we constantly update and change and keep it so that we know exactly what is going to happen when in our lives, and we can plan it. And don't misunderstand me, not that there isn't any wisdom in that. There's great wisdom in planning, but we make such a habit of it that we often pull the planning pieces in our assumptions all the way down into a sense of knowing. And when something happens that we didn't plan for, there can be a really big break, disconnect in our psyche. So, fall faith. Hopefully you have your book. We've got 6 groups now confirmed. And I understand that some people are having a hard time getting the book because it's sold out on Amazon. And so I would encourage you, if you're struggling with that, to consider getting a digital version or an audio version of the book. And there is still room in at least 5 of our groups. One of them is filled up. So please go to our website, check your emails for the link to get to our website, and you can actually register online. And the idea of doing a Fall Faith series, as many of you know, doing a book study together, is that there's great growth that happens in our collective unity, right? Our congregation, our community, when we can experience and talk about and work with the same ideas, and we can really grow through them together, and we help each other, and we also create accountability for each other in that. And there's also deep personal growth. So we will have the talks here on Sunday for 6 weeks, and then you'll get to go even deeper with each other in small groups. And as you know, I'll be rotating through each of the groups so that I can have an opportunity to get you to know you better. So here's a really good thing we need to, like, presence, a really good thing, I say, because a gift in unity for us is that we don't really have dogma. We don't have a habit or a practice of telling people what to think. We give tools so that you can create habits of how to think, but we don't tell you what to think. And so I'm going to ask you to keep that in mind as you go through this book. This book is written by Susan Jeffers. You know, it's not rubber stamped. There's not everything in it that I'm saying, oh, everything here is spot on. This is a life-changing book. Soak in every word and do exactly what she says. What I'm suggesting is that she is dealing with a topic, embracing uncertainty, that is very valuable to us to really get into. And in these uncertain times, you know, the year 2020 is begging us to deal with to embrace uncertainty, right? To deal with the fact that we live in uncertainty. While we like to go about our days acting as though we know everything that's going to happen. We certainly know where our next paycheck is coming from. We know where our food sources are. We know where our social and familial relationships lie, and we count on our days to look a certain way. So this year has brought such drastic change for us that I think it's really a wonderful opportunity for us to just dive into how do we embrace uncertainty. And I want to acknowledge too that this community has been living in uncertainty for a lot longer than just the year 2020, than just this calendar year. We've been without a building for a few years. You've been without a minister for a few years. And so as we start to move into some certainty, you know who your minister is. Thank you. And I'm so delighted to be here and be on this journey with you. We also have to be careful not to begin to jump right into assumptions and feeling as though now we know how things are going to go and what direction things are going to go. We still have a major unknown in this community. We don't have a building. We don't have a spiritual home, which is why we speak that affirmation together every week, and why there's a team the Future Space team has been so dedicated and working so hard to seek this perfect and right building for us. So we are ripe as a collective, as a community. We are ripe for this conversation together and individually in what's happening in our neighborhoods, in our families, in our homes, in our businesses, in our schools, in our country, as we fast approach an election year. So much uncertainty. Wow. It's a good thing we don't actually have to know what's going on, right? So we can sort of lift this responsibility and this pressure off of our shoulders, because the fact is we never know exactly what's going to happen or how it's going to unfold. Even people who are who are psychics, if you notice, often don't tell you exactly what's going to happen or exactly when or where. They might have a sense of something, and sometimes are spot on. Sometimes things unfold exactly as the vision has appeared or the knowing has appeared. But many times, and most often, there are a lot of unknown factors in those experiences. So I just want to presence that. And I'm so delighted that we are starting this journey together. I believe it's a way that we can all really grow closer together and experience a sense of oneness and connectedness, even though we are meeting virtually right now and all the small groups are happening via Zoom. So is this a life-changing book? I don't know. It depends. If you change your life, right? That's how you know it's a life-changing book, if you change your life. So you get to do that. We aren't going to tell you what to think or how to think or whether you should agree with this book or not. And I'll tell you right off the bat, I had some questions when I got into that first chapter about wonder and the second chapter about the question of maybe and the power of maybe. I'm totally on board with that. And we have a teaching in Unity about setting intentions and creating affirmations. And one of the great gifts that Unity brings forward to humanity is the idea that our thoughts create our reality. So an easy assumption to make about those ideas is that therefore we can control our lives and the outcomes of our experiences and our circumstances. And that's such a nuance, such an important nuance that often gets lost in the teachings, or rather in the practice of the teachings. It's not lost in the teaching itself. So we might pit the idea of setting intentions against the idea of having control. And then when we go into practice of setting intentions, we might quickly forget that this doesn't mean we can control an outcome. Because if I intend that everything is going to be a peaceful experience, that in a given situation, I'm going to have a peaceful outcome. Well, that's none of my business. I can't, because that means I might be trying to control somebody else. If there's to be peace, it can't just be from me. There's going to be some other entity that I'm expecting to have peace. So when I set that intention based on the outcome, I'm actually misusing the teaching. I can set an intention to be a peaceful presence in a given circumstance, a given situation. And then I can live into that intention. I can set an affirmation that I have all access to the peace of God within me, as me, and I can tap into that. And I can step forward and move forward as a peaceful presence. But I can't control the outcome. I can't control how anyone else shows up. I can't control what actually happens and unfolds in that circumstance and situation. So do you see how sometimes we sort of flip it and turn it into sort of a superstition that if I say these certain magic words, or if I do this certain thing, and if I turn around 3 times and speak my affirmations 4 times and step forward and do it again, then I can control the outcome of the situation. I can get my desired outcome. Because isn't that what we want? So Susan Jeffers does a really good job, though, in the book talking about our higher self versus our lower self. And this is where the rubber meets the road in this kind of teaching. So I don't want you to get lost in sort of questioning, well, is this unity? Because she's not a unity person and these aren't unity writings and, we have our way of doing this. But let's ask the question. Let's wonder what could be in this book and in Susan's teachings and Susan's experience that could illuminate our teachings and our ideas and help us be better practitioners of our own teachings. What is possible? I wonder how this book could actually take me deeper into my unity practices. Great questions, right? And great questions are so important to carry with us through life. Great questions. I have an example of a really great questions. Sometimes great questions can be annoying. I'll just say that. Right? Sometimes great questions can be earth-shattering. Sometimes great questions can feel like they pull the carpet out from underneath us and now nothing makes sense. We thought we knew. Somebody asked this really great question and now we know nothing. Try having a 4-year-old ask you what a word means, right? So a couple of weeks ago, Maddie Rosa asked me, I said the word appetite to her. She has great appetite. And she said, what does appetite mean? Well, I mean, it's not exactly being hungry, but it's about how hungry you are. I kind of just stumbled. I'm like, well, I mean, I know how to use the word. I know what appetite means, people. Come on. But how do you explain it to a 4-year-old, right? So there's that saying that you don't really understand anything unless you can explain it to a 5-year-old, I think is how the saying goes. But, try a 4-year-old, a very precocious 4-year-old. How do you explain it simply so she can understand, right? And if I can't do it simply, then maybe I don't fully understand what the word means, but I know how to use it in a sentence. So we'll go with that. Great question. I have another example of a great question. While I was working at Unity World headquarters in the communication and publishing department, we also are the department that creates products. And we have this awesome product developer. Her name is Caitlin. Big shout out to Caitlin. She is the queen of asking great questions. And you want that. You want that in someone who is developing products, right? You want them to ask all the questions about how something might be used, how it might be valuable, how it might make a difference in someone's lives, because we're, of course, dealing with spiritual products. You want them to be asking, who's going to use this? How can we get it to them? Will it be helpful? Will it, really create something? So one of her first big products that she created is a set of intention dice. And they're these colorful dice that have words on them. And, they're words like abundance and, I don't remember them right now, but I wish I had a set to show you. I'm used to having them sort of accessible to me in the office. Well, I'm in a new office. So anyway, I can tell you about them, and you can go to unity.org and look them up yourself. But they're just a set of colorful dice. We all know what dice look like. They have words on them. And the idea is that they're tools for reflection. You roll the dice however you want. There are no rules to the game. Again, no dogma. We're not going to tell you what to do or how to do it. Unity people hate that anyway. It never works. But they're tools for reflection. And you can use them with a group. You can use them like with your YOU or Unitine group. You can use them by yourself in the mornings or afternoons during a personal reflection time. And it's really a cool thing. Well, Caitlin comes to me one day. She got a great question from someone who wrote in after seeing the big rollout of these intention dice. So the question goes, if intention is all about purposely intending to be a certain way or to do something or believe something, then why are we just rolling it and leaving it to chance by throwing the dice? Great question. I think Caitlin was kind of looking at me as a Unity minister, like, how would you answer this question? And my response was, that is a great question. And what it tells me is that it's someone who's really thinking about what it means to work with the power of intention and what it means to work with dice, right? A game of chance, if you will. And to me, the answer is easy. It's easy because, well, you throw the dice, you pick a word. You could just pick one die and roll one. You could pick 2, 3. You can get 3 out of 4, however you want to do it. Roll till you get the word you want. But if you throw the dice and you get a word that you don't really feel like you connect to, opportunity. You can explore, why don't I connect to this word? What does this word mean to me? What's my history with this word? Does it just not connect with me today? Is there something on my shadow side that wants to be revealed? Or you can just set it aside and look for a word that you do connect with. And this word, faith, is really just clicking with me today, either because I need to activate more faith in my being or because I've been so faith-filled in this one circumstance that's happening. And this is just confirmation that, that yes, I'm naming it faith. I'm activating faith. I'm working with faith every day. So there are lots of ways to use this, but great question, because it helps us get clear that we aren't throwing the dice. Universe, tell me, based on what the dice say, what my intention should be today, right? We're sort of like giving our power away to the dice. Now, there's not anything wrong with that if you want to do that in the moment, because maybe you're feeling uninspired. And so you're going to throw the dice and you close your eyes and pick one and look at the word and then find a way to connect with that word and find a way to build intention around that word. So there's opportunity, but do you see in that process, there's a clearing, right? Emptying of the hands, emptying of the mind, of our assumptions, and opening to possibility, to wonder. I wonder what these dice might reveal to me today. Who's doing the actual revealing, right? The revelation, the dice are not speaking to you. The revelation is happening in your own mind and heart and your own connection with the divine. Back to Susan Jeffers in our book, Embracing Uncertainty, she's asking us to connect first with our higher self. The lower self, the ego mind, as we refer to it in Unity, is really all about survival. And so when we are driven by that egoic self that wants to know the outcomes, what the weather's going to be, what the diagnosis is going to be, what the prognosis will be, all of these things. Are we going to get the job? Are we going to get the building of our dreams? All of these things the ego mind wants to know now in order to protect itself, in order to survive and to move forward. But when we move into the higher self, we can set our assumptions, set our sense of wanting to the side, because what we know wanting is really an expression of lack. If I want for something, that means I believe in my mind I don't have it. So when we move into our higher self, our capital S self, our spirit mind, we can open to what's true, capital T true. The power is in me, right? The power is not in the dice as I roll them. The power is not even in the word unless I speak it with power, unless the power in me as me activates the energy of that word in my life. I have another quick example. While I was in seminary, lots of great questions in seminary, right? Lots of rich, juicy discussion. And we had a guest speaker. I'm sure many of you know Reverend Mark Fuss, who came in and was a guest speaker for one day. And at the very end, I mean, like the bell was ringing as he was saying in response to, well, the one thing we know is that God is absolute. And his question was, is it? Is that the one thing we know? And everyone's getting their stuff together. I was like, oh no, we are not leaving this room right now. Everybody sit down. Because if that's the one thing I thought I know, that God is unchanging, God is absolute, God is the one thing I can know in this universe, the one thing. And now you're saying, is it? Is God unchanging or is God changeable? Is God absolute or not? That's a really good question. That's a series of really good questions, and terrifying and earth-shattering. And now we can't leave until I have the answer. What is the answer? Because I'm going to ace this test, right? Everything I thought I knew just blew up. Because so if what we know about God is expressed in the patterns of the universe, and everything we know in creation is changeable, then why, you see where I'm going? Then why would we assume that God, the one holy presence in the universe, is unchangeable? Why? Because we want to know that there is one absolute. We want something that we can hold on to. But what if we know that the universe is expanding? What if God is also expanding? What if God is in a stage of metamorphosis? What if? Good question. Burning questions, the kind of mind-blowing questions. It's like that. I can liken it to that experience of when you're a kid and you go into a grocery store and you see your teacher. Your whole world blows up because your teacher is at the grocery store. Like, what are you doing in regular clothes and in a regular place with regular people? It's not unlike when you realize for the first time that your parents are actual regular people and not just your parents. Mind-blowing, earth-shattering, life-changing questions and realizations and wonder and wonderment. Wow. So there's a lot in this book for us. The year 2020 is asking us to remember that the gift of humanity is that we have the power to wonder. We have the power to be curious, to ask questions. This is the great frontier that remains for us, is the power of our own thinking, of our own mind, to release our assumptions, to release the desire to control the outcomes in our life, and to open to the grand beauty of wonder. Breshith Elohim, in the beginning, God. Better translated to in a beginning, God. Breshith Elohim, let there be light. This is the great illumination. So we bring our higher self forward. In the beginning, God, our higher self, let there be light. And we open to the grand illumination that we are not in control. And that's okay. That's okay, because now we get to ask really good questions. We get to be in the wonder of life and possibility. And then we activate our ability to create affirmations, to create intentions, to visualize, to think the reality that we want to manifest, the lives that we want to manifest for ourselves. So let's take this into meditation. I'm going to invite you to find yourself comfortable right where you are. If you need to move a little bit to get comfortable, I guess go ahead and do that. But in the space you are in, just know that you have all access to comfort, to spirit, to community, to one another. And if you haven't already closed your outer eyes, I'm going to invite you to do that and open the inner eye to the vast expanse of the universe, the one holy presence, the one holy curiosity present in each and every one of us, animating us through each and every moment, living, moving, having its being, expressing itself in, through, and as us. Let's breathe into this knowing. Into this truth. We release any physical tension. We notice any thoughts that seem pervasive or persuasive. We notice any sounds around us. We don't let them be irritation or distraction. We invite them in to the grand symphony that is life, that is prayer, that is communion with spirit. And we open to the wonder that we are even here at all. That through the power of our thinking, we have what we call unity teachings, unity community. Through our desire to know life, to know love, to know God, to know one another, we create spiritual community. And we let the fulfillment of this desire be present just as it is, without wanting, without demanding any specific outcome for it. We allow this desire to move us into wonder. There is so much to wonder about right now. And sometimes when we get into that space of wondering, we turn immediately to stressing, to worrying, because that power of imagination comes in and it goes cattywampus and begins to bring forward all of the things that could possibly go wrong. That same power can bring us all of the things that could possibly go right. And so we allow it. We allow that ego mind that wants to protect and preserve itself to just chill out a little bit, to just relax. It's doing its job. We don't need to conquer it. We don't need to get rid of it. We don't need to ignore it. We can hear the ego mind speak. We can acknowledge it, love it, invite it to have a seat. And we open up to the mind of spirit active in each of us, to our higher self, to our God mind. Omniscience, omnipotence, omnipresence in us, as us. Wow. Wonder. Maybe that's all we really need, is to remember. And so let's sit in this remembering, in this knowing, in this activating our connection with spirit in and through us. Let's sit in the wonderment that is God, the wonderment that is us in silent contemplation. For this opportunity to touch the stillness, we give thanks. For the knowing that our empty hands will soon be filled by the great wonderment of spirit, by the great bounty that is love and life, we give thanks. For one another and spiritual community and the strength that abides within, we give thanks. And so it is. Amen.
I'm through asking where I'm going. I've been asking for all my life. I've grown tired of all this wondering when everything seems to turn out fine. So when my mind needs something to do, wants to know the future, I whisper this: I'm okay. I've always been, and I'll always be that way. So here goes nothing. I'm taking a chance. I'm opening up, knowing that I'm in good hands. And here goes everything. It's all on the line. Oh, but I'm not afraid this time. Some say I'm crazy, some say naive, to close my eyes and take the lead. But I know better, 'cause I believe even in the dark my soul can see. So when my mind plays its usual games, oh, my answer is still the same. So here goes nothing. I'm taking a chance. I'm opening up, knowing that I'm in good hands. And here goes everything. It's all on the line. Oh, but I'm not afraid this time. Here goes nothing. I'm taking a chance. I'm opening up, knowing that I'm in good hands. And here goes everything. It's all on the line. Oh, but I'm not afraid this time. No, I'm not afraid this time. No, I'm not afraid this time. 'Cause I'm okay. I've always been, and I'll always be that way. Said I'm okay. I've always been, and I'll always be that way.
Wow. Wow, wow. Thank you. Wow. So much inspiration. Good morning, everybody. Good morning to all of you who have checked in on our Facebook Live and on YouTube. It's good to be part of this community this morning. Thank you, Reverend Jackie, for inspiring us to grow in the face of uncertainty and read this book, and for the opportunities to join small groups. And thank you, Willis, for some beautiful music, inspiring music this morning. Here are a few messages, little announcements. Small groups, as you know, are now forming for our upcoming Fall Faith book study. We're reading the book Embracing Uncertainty. Groups will begin meeting virtually this week. So to sign up for a group and links to order the book, then you can go to this morning's order of service e-news that Deb Philby sent out. There are 6 groups, and you can go join one that either works in terms of the day or the time or the facilitator. And it would be great to have everybody do that. Also, please join us after the service today for an opportunity to connect on Zoom. The meeting ID number is 376-922-0711. Reverend Jackie will be joining us afterwards. If you're joining for the very first time, you're welcome to join us on Zoom. Sip your coffee, just listen, or join in the conversation. Either way, we'd love to have you there. Also, UCUP Kids and Uniteens will be having their weekly Zoom meetings following today's service. Today's lesson for the kids is Jesus Calms the Sea. For more information, check out our UCUP Facebook page. Kelly Corbett will post the information there on how to join. Also, don't you love announcements? It's like we're meeting virtually and there's so much going on in our community. Mark your calendars. You're going to really want to know about this. Next Sunday evening at 6 o'clock, it's September 27th at 6 o'clock. Everybody in our UCUP community is invited to participate in a socially distanced drumming circle in the parking lot of the Abdallah Shriners Temple at 53rd and Metcalf. So a dozen drums and a variety of small percussion instruments will be available. You are welcome to bring your own noisemaker and also to bring a chair or a blanket to sit on. So this will be our first opportunity to meet in person as a community, and everybody who's interested and feels comfortable is welcome to participate. Also, as always, you can join us on Mondays through Fridays at 11:30 in the morning on Facebook for Inner Connection. This is a 15 to 20 minute meditation and a time to turn within and connect with Spirit. And you can join Reverend Carrie tomorrow at 11:30 in the morning. And then next Sunday, September 27th, please join us as we continue to live stream our services for week 2 of Fall Faith with Reverend Jackie, and she will share her message, Fantasy, Reality, and Mystery.
we will welcome back musician Terry Swope. So we'll be sure to be rocking out with Terry. And you can check out the weekly e-news or the website for all of the details and any other updates. And here I'd like to welcome back Willis White as he sings Let There Be Peace on Earth. And also would invite everybody to stick around because Reverend Jack will be closing out our Sunday morning service after Willis sings this last song. God bless you.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. With God as creator, family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Oh, let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step that I take, let this be the solemn vow to take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Oh, let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me.
Wowie, wow, wow.
Yeah. Woo! I got chills.
Yes.
Oh, please join me all in saying the prayer for protection. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. And the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well.
Amen to that. So are you ready for some power-filled living, creating space in your life, letting go of control, lifting into your highest self, that you may open to the gifts of wonder and possibility, offering maybe as a way to check yourself when you find yourself making assumptions or trying to control an outcome. Maybe, wonder, power-filled living. Let's affirm our mission. Unity Church of Overland Park transforms lives and empowers people to make a difference in their lives and in the world. Well, thank you, Carrie. And thank you, Terry, for the ASL interpretation. Thank you, Mike, who's behind the scenes running this whole tech show, and Fred for giving us the gift of Willis White today. Thank you, Willis, wherever you are, for gifting us with that extraordinary voice of yours and the gift of music through you and as you. Thank you, Deb. Thank you, Tiffany, and everyone who participated in creating this very special Sunday, and all of you who are attending live with us. For those who will be watching in the future, who are tuning in at a later date, we encircle you with us, and we know that you bless us, and we hope that you are surely blessed. So I'll see you at coffee time here on Zoom in just a few moments, and then we'll see you next week. Blessings, blessings, blessings.